What's up, Timmons here. With Landman, since Landman just premiered its second season this past week, really good, strong start, by the way, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Billy Bob Thornton projects. Now, I only have like one TV show on this list, and the rest are obviously films. He has done other decent TV shows like Fargo. I remember he actually had a guest spot on The Big Bang Theory, which I bet lots of people always keep forgetting about. Billy Bob Thornton is the man. He was obviously married to Angelina Jolie at one point. Who remembers that one? Uh, and obviously, he's done a lot of really cool roles. So here is my official top 10. All right. Number 10 is Bad News Bears. Now, Bad News Bears is a remake of the Walter Matthau baseball film from like the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken. And the Bad News Bears, well, not as good as the original. I really quite enjoyed the remake. Starring Billy Bob Thornton as his foul mouth ex minor league baseball player who is hired to help a youth baseball team turning misfit into unlikely contenders here as players and all. And I still always find it weird that this movie was rated PG-13 and not rated R. This was just like Bad Santa without the F bombs. But it's still a pretty decent one. Directed by Richard Linklater, featuring Greg Kinnear, Marsha Gay Harden. It's not like Richard Linklater's best work, nothing like that. Like it's not as classic as let's say the Before trilogies or anything or Days of Confused, but it's still a pretty decent one that's well worth watching. All right, coming in at number 9 is A Simple Plan. Now this was directed by Sam Raimi, who obviously gave us the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. And it's about three friends who discovers a crashed plane with millions in cash and decide to keep it, and their plan unravels with paranoia, greed, violence, spiral out of control. Cool cast list. You got Billy Bob Thornton, Bill Paxton, Bridget Fonda, and of course, Billy Bob Thornton plays the character of Jacob Mitchell, who's a lonely, tragic figure who's yearning for acceptance here. And the chemistry with Billy Bob Thornton and Bill Paxton is really great. It is a really decent dark comedy. Sam Raimi. I would love to see Sam Raimi do another film like this because he did a really like. This is not as good as let's say the Evil Dead movies or even the Spider-Man films, something like that. But it's still really decent. Watch as well. Worth a go. Alright, number 8 is Primary Colors. Now, this was directed by the great Mike Nichols and stars John Travolta, Emma Thompson, obviously a fictionalized version of the whole Bill Clinton stuff. It stars John Travolta as this Southern governor's presidential campaign. And it's, of course, inspired by Bill Clinton through the eyes of a young, idealistic staffer. And Billy Bob Thornton plays a sharp, foul-mouthed strategist, loosely inspired by James Carville. And a really great cast list, John Travolta, Billy Bob Thornton, Kathy Bates, Emma Thompson. Now, of course, obviously, Billy Bob Thornton and Kathy Bates will go on to work together again in Bad Santa 2. So, there's that. But Primary Colors is a really decent one. That's a really decent political film. Great performances by Travolta. Really, obviously, he's not really playing the actual Bill Clinton, but definitely has the Bill Clinton talk down pretty well and all, and a really decent film there. All right, coming in at number 7 is the only TV show on this list, Landman. Landman is terrific. I'm not really like the world's biggest Yellowstone guy or anything, but I would admit right now, Landman, sorry Yellowstone, Tulsa King's cool. Although I miss season 3 is a little bit stepped down from the first 2 seasons. Like those two, are cool shows, whatever. I'm not gonna lie. Landman to me is Taylor Sheridan's best work. So far season 2, it's off to a great start. Hopefully they'll stick the landing, who knows. But yes, Landman, like this show really came out of nowhere and I just thought it was excellent. Billy Bob Thornton, of course, if you guys don't know much about the story, it is about a Taylor Sheridan series on Paramount Plus, exploring the hometown chaos of West Texas oil rigs. And you got Ali Lauder is still so many scenes. Like there is actually a really fun moment in season 2 where she's like throwing pretty much like getting all mad and throwing like plates of food. At Billy Bob Thornton's character, which is a little hilarious. In a way. And yeah, Ali Lauder is great. I've always, was fascinated with her ever since I saw her in Fine Destination. Come on. Now, of course, you got Billy Bob Thornton, who plays Tommy Norris, who's the oilman navigating high stakes business here, and he does play the part well. There was like a weird moment with with him and his daughter, which I'm like, that's a really awkward conversation. But of course, John Hamm's great. I mean, Michelle Randolph, who's going to be in the opening kill for Scream 7, she plays the daughter here. She's great. I mean, if you guys haven't seen Landman, do yourself a favor. It's on Paramount Plus. Give it a go. Highly recommend that. All right. Coming in at number 6 is Armageddon. Now, of course, directed by Michael Bay, where like a massive asteroid drains Earth, and NASA recruits like a team of oil drillers Now, of course, you do got a great cast from the likes of Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Steve Buscemi, and here, of course, you got Dorian, who plays Stanton Truman, who's a NASA mission director and guiding the desperate operation of mission control. And Billy Bob Thornton plays the part very well. You know, obviously Ben Affleck is great in this one too. It is one of the most iconic sci-fi movies of the '90s. It's really gearing. It is entertaining at times. The iconic Steven Tyler song, "Come On." I mean, don't want to miss a thing. One of the most iconic soundtracks there is. So really good one. All right, number 5 is the Coen Brothers film, "The Man Who Wasn't There." Now, this is of course a noir style tale about a quiet barbershop in 1949. The whole movie is in black and white, but it takes place in 1949's California. Who of course gets entangled in blackmail, murder, and betrayal. It's a really good cast list. Obviously, Doran leads the film alongside Frances McDormand because it's a Coen Brothers movie. James Gandolfini, Scarlett Johansson. Of course, Doran's barber character is very passive demeanor, leads his uh, spiral of crime and fate here, and he does play the part well. Really good performance throughout. Um, it's crazy to believe he did not really get an Oscar nomination for this because I think he definitely deserved one. And of course, like the black and white aspect was pretty good. Really decent film there. All right, number 4 is Monsters Ball. Now this has a good cast. You have from good like Halle Berry, Heath Ledger, Pierre Boyle's in this. You even got P Diddy. I kid you not, P Diddy's in this one. So yeah, rewatching this movie nowadays, seeing P Diddy in this movie, it's probably awkward watching it. Although his character is in jail, so I guess it's for the best. But anyway, now of course, if you guys don't know much about Monsters Ball, the film that won Halle Berry an Oscar, about a correctional officer who begins a relationship with a woman whose husband he helped execute, leading both grief, racism, and their painful past. And of course, you got Doran, who plays Hank Garwoski, who's the prison guard dealing with generational racism and on. And of course, like his chemistry with Halle Berry, they get pretty steamy throughout, obviously. But Doran does play his part very well. Great performance here. Of course, again, his chemistry with Halle Berry is great. I mean, he does such a good job in this one. All right. Coming in at number 3 is Friday Night Lights. Now, obviously, not to be confused with the TV show. This is, of course, the movie version. With Derek Luke, Tim McGraw, Connie Brin, who obviously will go on to working on the TV version. This is actually based on a true story and follows the 1988 season of the high school Panthers football team. And of course, here you got Billy Bob Doran playing the coach. He does such a good job here. You can really buy him as a coach perfectly. You know, of course, directed by Peter Berg, who did a good job with this one. Definitely one of the best football movies there is. It's really inspiring. Obviously, when you think of Friday Night Lights, you always think of the TV show with Kyle Chandler. Which, hey, the TV show's cool, but the movie is still the best in my opinion, and it's a really good one if you guys have seen it. Number two is Sling Blade. Loads of people probably have this as their number one favorite, but my number one favorite I think is his actually is better. But Sling Blade, I mean, directed by Billy Bob Thornton. I think he actually got an Oscar nomination for this. I think he should have won that year, in my opinion. But this is, of course, with Billy Bob Thornton as his mentally impaired man, released from a psychiatric institution after committing a childhood murder here. And he forms a friendship with a young kid played by Lucas Black, but becomes entangled in the kid's dangerous home life. And Billy Bob Thornton definitely plays his part very well. One of his iconic performances to date. I think this actually did score a couple award recognitions. I could be mistaken there. Uh, but I still think Billy Bob Thornton should have won his Oscar that year. Not sure who, can't remember who won that year, but Thornton still did an amazing job here. Lucas Black was great. The late great John Ritter pops up in this. He's terrific. It's such a really good one. And Billy Bob Thornton has directed other stuff since. Like I think the last thing he directed was that not so good movie called J Mansfield's Car, which that was pretty forgettable. But Sling Bay is a really decent one that's well worth a watch. And my number one favorite Billy Bob Thornton project, and pretty much my favorite movie of his in general, is obviously Bad Santa. I love Bad Santa. Here of course you got Billy Bob Thornton who plays the foul mouth alcoholic conman Willie, who poses as a more Santa each year to rob department stores at Christmas, and obviously he has a be friends with this lonely kid named Dermot Merman, played by Brett Kelly. He also has a relationship with Lauren Graham's character. You do got obviously appearances by the late great John Ritter, the late great Bernie Mac. I mean, this was actually sadly John Ritter's like his last movie before he passed away. R.I.P. Man, it kind of breaks my heart seeing every time I rewatch this movie. It always breaks my heart seeing both John Ritter and Bernie Mac together, and knowing that they're no longer with us. Like two common legends there. And I mean, Billy Bob Thornton's Willie is just so foul mouthed. He just plays the part well. Of course, you've got the great Tony Cox as Marcus, the elf. I mean, Tony Cox, by the way, if they were to ever do an actual spin off with the Tony Cox character, I would watch that in a heartbeat. I just love the Tony Cox Marcus character. Every time he talks, whatever, he always felt like spouts some really foul mouth stuff, and yeah, his chemistry with Billy Bob Thornton's Willie is just awesome. And Billy Bob Thornton's definitely my top tier favorite on screen Santas there is. He just plays like he's hilarious at times. I mean, this is definitely one of my favorite Christmas movies. I will always watch around every holidays. It will either be Bad Santa, Home Alone, The Santa Claus, the Jim Carrey Grinch. I mean, lots of great Christmas movies, traditions, and yeah, Bad Santa is one of them. Now, of course, they did do a sequel, which I actually like the sequel. Not as good as the original, obviously, but I do appreciate the sequel a whole lot. I mean, Tony Cox in that one was good. And he had Kathy Bates as Billy Bob Thornton's mother. Hilarious there. I would love to see a Bad Santa 3. Like, if they were to ever come out and do a Bad Santa 3, I would be for it. Get Sam, I mean, this time around, maybe you could get Willie's dad on board and get Sam Elliott as Willie's dad. Because Sam Elliott's playing his dad in the new season of Landman. And you know what? If they were to announce a Bad Santa 3 with Sam Elliott playing his dad, I will be on board with that big time. But I really don't think Bad Santa 2 did all that well. Well, they did open up against. I remember seeing Bad Santa 2 and Moana on the same day. Yeah, that was my Barbenheimer before Barbenheimer became a thing. So yeah, but the first Bad Santa is just still the best. I'm not gonna lie, I could quote that movie a whole lot. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, The Bad News Bears. 9, A Simple Plan. 8, Primary Colors. 7, Landman. 6, Armageddon. 5, The Man Who Wasn't There. 4, Monsters Ball. 3, Friday Night Lights. 2, Sling Blade. And number 1 is Bad Santa. Now, obviously, Bad Santa 2 is in my honorable mention. A few other films. Mr. Woodcock, the one that he did with Sean William Scott. Really hilarious little comedy. School for Scoundrels that he did with John Heder. That's a really fun little one. He was also in Going Overboard, which was the Adam Sandler's first film he did. Let's see what else we got here. U-Turn that he did with Jennifer Lopez. Pushing 10 with John Cusack. He also Angelina Jolie was in that too because honestly they were married at the time. They also did that movie The Ice Harvest. Him and John Cusack. Bandits, which also had Bruce Willis. The Alamo, which not a bad little western there. Eagle Eye that he did with Shia LaBeouf. Another Christmas movie he did in 2003, Love Actually. Obviously, I decided to go with Bad Santa because that's his better Christmas film he did. Let's see what else we got here. On Deadly Ground with Steven Seagal. A Million Little Pieces. The Gray Man. Fargo. His appearance on Big Bang Theory is pretty hilarious. All Pretty Horses. I mean, most recent, where he voiced himself on Harley Quinn. That was really fun to see. But let me ask you guys, what are some of your favorite Billy Bob Thornton projects? Whether it's his film roles, TV roles, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Simon.